Was it mystery from the get-go? Have you always written mystery?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what drew you to that genre versus other stories? And it's because it sounds like you didn't even need to experiment. You just knew that was what you were going to write.
Well, I knew I wanted to write about a story my friend told me about her mother, a hidden Jewish girl in the Marais during the German occupation.
Right.
I didn't know how to frame that story or how to tell that story. And it was actually my father, who's this voracious reader, who, I don't know, later in life when he retired, started reading mysteries. He would go to the library on Saturday, take out 7 books, all mysteries, read a book a day because he was retired.
Yeah.
And he was really into it. And he would say, oh, you should think about this and you could talk about that story. And it'd be, and I, Dad, no, mysteries, poo, But,
interesting. So you weren't even into them initially. No. Yeah. It wasn't like you had read all these Nancy Drews or whatever as a little girl.
Well, I read
or
Nancy
something.
Drews,
yeah.
but that
I guess
was
so did
it.
I. I read the Hardy Boys. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't your thing. Mm-hmm. And he's bringing all these books home and he was encouraging you to get into mystery.
Yeah. And he was saying, you have this incredible story. What better way to frame it? And I like that. When I started reading, of course, mysteries and Sarah Paretsky, who started kind of trailblaze for female writers, Marcia Muller, who lives up in the North Bay. And it was like, you could tell the story. And it wasn't just a whodunit. It was, social realism, socioeconomic status. It was so much more. But I love the framework. Mm-hmm. Something happens. There's an inciting incident. Usually it's murder. Why? There's an investigation. There's, a whole route of investigation. Then there's a climax, and then we find out some form of justice is served. Not everything. Not everything is tied up with a bow.
Yeah.
But
you said specifically in a couple, I think, of the interviews that I read, you wanted Aimée to serve the kind of justice that isn't always served in real life, essentially. Yes. And I thought that was an interesting twist. Why? Can you just speak to that a little bit? Is it just simply because you wished the world were more just, or was there more to it, or what were your thoughts there?
I think it's an every person kind of thing. I mean, I think one day I was going out to get in my car and somebody had winged me really bad, and I had to take it in. It was $100 deductible for nothing, and then it was just like, that's it. I want can't Aimée Leduc come and get that person? Or, isn't there someone, there's all these things we suffer in life that we have to take on the chin and keep on moving. And there's so many people who can't afford, a lawyer, can't afford someone to keep hounding. A lot of times in bureaucracy, you've got to keep going and going until you get an answer.
Right.
And a lot of us just don't see justice in our lives. And I thought, this is someone, she would help that person.
Yep. Yep.
And I did see graffiti once in Paris in the metro, and it translated to "The true heroes stay anonymous." It's not done for glory or for money. It's done because it needs to be done.
Right. I like
the underdog, right?
Yeah, definitely.